What is up, metahumans? Today's video is going to be all about equipment mods, where to find them, how to target farm them, what they're for, how to read them, and ultimately how to use them to build your own builds. Instead of having to be a slave to build guides on the internet, and getting to sort of master your own destiny and play the weapons that you want to play instead of whatever the flavor of the week is on YouTube. So let's get started with that. First thing you want to look at is, what are mods? Mods are ultimately the building blocks of your character's identity during a season or whenever you're using a specific set of weapons. So in here, you're going to have effects that amplify the core effects of your weapons, as well as effects that are going to change how some of the core effects of your weapons work, so that you can alter your playstyle to suit specifically what you're trying to do and the content you're trying to complete. So mods are extremely, extremely important in creating a build that's going to be interesting and fun for you to play. So the first thing that we need to look at is we need to look at how to read mods. So mods are pretty simple to read. The first thing you're going to see when you look at a mod is you're going to see this nice little image right here. And you're going to see potentially, you might have this 5 out of 5, or it could be, a 3 out of 5, a 2 out of 5, anything like that. So the first thing you're going to look at is, this is how many times a mod has been upgraded right here. So mods can be upgraded 5 times, and that's going to affect those attribute effects that you see on the screen right now, and it can level those up. So this is how many times a mod has been leveled. Here you're going to see the lock key, or the lock icon. This just means that this mod has been locked, so it can't be disassembled or used in a mod conversion and destroyed. So this is what you want to do. You're going to want to go through and lock any mods that you want to make sure and keep, because they've got good core effects, good attribute effects, and you're maybe going to want to be leveling those up in the future. Then right over here on the top right-hand corner, you have this little E symbol. This means that it is currently equipped to a weapon. Then in the middle here, you have the big icon for exactly what kind of mod it is. You don't necessarily need to memorize all of these, but it does give you a little bit of an idea of what that mod is going to be used for. In this case, you see that there is a flame there. So obviously that's going to be a fire mod. If you come over here to ice, you've got ice. That's going to help you understand that. When you look at your Fortress Warfare, they've all got these cannon in the background. So just a general idea of what that mod's going to be used for. And then down across the bottom here, you've got the level indicators for the attribute effects. That's just how to read the mod icon here. Now when you hover over that mod, you'll now see that you get a much deeper description of what this mod does. So the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see the name of the mod, right? So this is a flame resonance mod. And then in those, I don't know, the carrots there, you're going to see that it says talents. Now, not every mod is going to have that, because some mods don't have an attribute effect that's already set. But what that word talents means right there is the first mod in the attribute effects is going to be elemental damage. And there's a couple of them. You can get talents. Actually, we'll just come right over here and I'll show you. You can get talents, you can get violent, and you can get, there is one more, and precision. So you can get violent, talents, and precision are the 3 normal mods that the normal attribute effects that you can get. And then we'll talk a little bit more about battle and burn and some of those other mods you may have seen here in just a moment. But that's going to show you your primary attribute effect is what's in those carrots right there. Then you have, this is a weapon mod, and it tells you what weapons it can be used for. It can be used on all weapons. For right now, I don't think there are any weapon mods that can't be used on all weapons. Maybe in the future, we're going to be seeing some weapon mods that are weapon specific. I'm actually really looking forward to something like that in the future. Now after that, you're going to see attribute effects. This is where your building, I'm sorry, after that you're going to see core effects. What am I saying? So your core effect is where you're going to be potentially changing how the core effect of your weapon reacts so that you can make a more specific play style for yourself. So here, for example, you see max burn stacks +2, burn duration -20%. So if you're applying a lot of burns in a short amount of time, maybe you want to get more burn stacks because the burn duration ending faster isn't going to negatively impact your build. So that would be maybe why you would use a flame resonance mod. Here you've got an embers mod, right? When burn is removed, stacks only -50%. So if you're not going to be burning very consistently, but you want to keep that damage as high as possible for as long as possible, or if you're doing something where every time you reload or something like that, your burn stacks come off, or for some reason you're removing burn stacks, right? Then this burn stacks removes only 50% is maybe going to be the right mod for you. When defeating an enemy affected by burn, recover 5% HP. So again, if you're doing a lot of crowd control with your burn weapon, then maybe you're going to want this mod on there so that you can use it as a way to generate HP. So very, very important that you identify what the best core effect is for what you're doing. This is going to be really build defining for how you're going to use your build. So it's important that you look through all of these. And I'll show you a quick little trick. If you don't happen to have every different type of mod, you can actually go into the mod conversion thing here, and you'll see that for every type of weapon, even if you don't have any of them unlocked, you can select this and scroll right over here, and now you can see the Burning Wrath mod. Triggering burn has a 25% chance to grant +1 burn stacks. So again, very, very build defining, and that's all the way across the board with all of your different mods. No matter what, even if you don't have them, you can come in here and read them. And so that's how you're going to go through and look for what you're going to be wanting to target farm. And we'll go ahead and talk about that here in a little while. So the next thing you're going to see is you're going to see attribute effects. Attribute effects are extremely important because these are going to be the little tweaks that you're going to be doing to your build. So here on this one, for example, we have element damage. It even lets us know that's blaze, frost, shock, and blast damage is increased by 6.4%. You've got status damage reduction, which means the damage you take from status damage is going to be reduced, which is great. You've got damage against great ones, which is boss creatures, which is great. And then you've got status damage plus 2.4%. Because this is a burn mod, having that elemental and status damage bonus is going to be really, really good. Because those are both going to be stacking together to increase that burn damage. And so that's kind of the thing you're going to be looking for, right? If you're going to be using, say, here we've got the bullseye weapons, right? You're maybe going to be looking for crit damage. You're going to be wanting stacking weapon damage. Maybe you're going to be stacking weak spot damage, something like that, which are all attribute effects that you can get. So it's very important here to, again, identify what you're going to be doing, because not only do you get potentially damage against great ones, you can also get damage against elite and damage against normal enemies. So again, what are you using this for? Is it a crowd control weapon? Is it an elite killer? Is it a boss killer? What are you going to be doing with this build? So what damages do you need to be looking to stack? Is it a PvP build? So maybe weapon damage reduction might be a good thing so that you take less damage from other metahumans. So you're really going to have to drill down on what attribute effects you're looking for. It's really hard to guarantee these. So you're going to end up farming a lot of mods to get the combination of mods that you want. But if you don't know what you're looking for, then you won't even know when you've got what you're looking for. So you have to go through and you have to figure out, what am I doing? How am I making this build? What am I looking for? And then there you go. Now on the right side of these attribute effects, you see that you have different tiers. What this different tier set means is that if you equip this mod to a tier 2 weapon, then you're only getting that first attribute effect, right? You'll get the core effect plus this first attribute effect, which is crit damage. If you equip it to a tier 3 weapon, then you're going to get your weapon damage and your crit damage. Tier 4, you get damage to great ones, weapon damage, and crit damage. And then tier 5, you get weapon damage reduction, damage to great ones, weapon damage, and crit damage. So you'll be able to see how, as you use that same mod, throughout different tiers of the game. As you level up in a new season, you're going to get to see exactly how it's going to continue to change your build. And then one of the very last things down there is it just tells you how to get this mod. So looting weapon crates in high level areas has a chance to yield this. Defeating Araxium on hard or master difficulty, actually pro difficulty, there is no master difficulty. So Araxium on hard or pro difficulty has a chance to yield this mod. And that's actually something we're going to be talking about in a little while, is how to target farm. And I'll tell you how to identify what mods you can get from what silos and bosses. But the next thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about how to level mods. So you'll see here that this is a 5 of 5 leveled mod. But none of your mods are going to start that way, right? All of your mods are going to start 0 of 5. And so you're going to look in here, and when you right click on it, it'll take you to this screen that will allow you to level up the mod. And this just brings you sort of into a more specific screen that brings all of the information about that mod right up to the front. So let's take a look at this. Mod enhancement will upgrade one random attribute rarity. So these are the rarities right over here, right? You've got purple, green, green, green. So if I level this mod up, it's going to pick one of these at random, and it's going to level that up to the next tier. Then you got get 70% mod parts when disassembling. So this is very important to recognize. Don't level up a ton of mods that you don't plan on using, because when you do that, you only get 70% back when you disassemble this, and you can't use leveled mods in mod conversion. So you have to be careful about what you level and how you level it. Now I'm going to level this here. Actually, I'm going to go back to that bullseye mod, because this bullseye mod's actually pretty good. That crit damage, weapon damage, damage against great ones all work really, really great for a good bullseye build. So we're actually going to go ahead and level this up, I think, all the way just to see what happens here. So all you have to do, you're going to spend energy links, and you're going to spend weapon parts. You get these weapon parts by disassembling mods. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to prioritize what mods to keep here in a little while, but just know that's how you're going to get your weapon parts. So we're going to hold F here. Oops, wrong button. We're going to hold F here. It says spending mod parts and energy links to enhance weapon mod. Attribute rarity is within its mod rarity limits. Don't remind me today. Okay, confirm. And you'll see we got attribute enhanced damage against great ones. That's actually great. The only one we really don't want here is weapon damage reduction, because I don't really play PvP right now. I'm on a PvE server, so I don't really care about this. So if I get anything other than that, I'm happy. Weapon damage up to legendary tier, that's the highest it can go, so it won't go in that anymore. Now we do this again. Okay, we got crit damage. That's fantastic. Crit damage up plus 9%. Boom, we got another crit damage, and we've got one more potential level up, but you'll see as we've done this more and more, the energy links expense has gotten more and more expensive, as well as your weapon parts. You're using up more and more weapon parts. So again, these are a sparse resource. You can only get so many. So be careful how you spend these weapon parts. And we're going to level up our last one. Okay, this is really a fantastic mod for the DE Wildfire, getting 15% crit damage. And plus 6% weapon damage is really, really great. Wow. Wow. 2 gold mods on there, both ones that we want, plus that bonus damage to great old ones. That's really, really a great mod. So that's how you level up. It's pretty simple. Just make sure that you're being careful about that as you do it. Now the next thing is we want to talk about what are the different types of mods. So I classify mods in 4 different ways now. The game only seems to cut them into 2 different categories, but here you've got weapon mods and armor mods, right? So weapon mods are classified by their core effects. So you've got burn weapon mods, power surge weapon mods, frost vortex. So you can go in here and really easily get to the mods whose core effects are going to be benefiting your weapon. And then armor mods are classified by what piece of armor they go on. And the core effects of these are all different. So far, there's only one legendary armor mod that can go on any piece of gear that I'm aware of, and that's the Life Force boost. And you can put these Life Force boosts anywhere. And you'll see the only way to get these is looting armor crates in high level areas has a chance to yield these. So these are actually some of the most difficult mods to get because you get them from a pool that can give you literally any of the armor mods. So Life Force mods, especially good rolled Life Force mods, are going to be extremely, extremely difficult to come by. So hang on to those if you get them. Don't just throw them away. Don't just turn them into parts. But that's how they break those different armor mods down. And these are all going to have different effects. This is going to be a huge part of making a build, is coming in here and choosing. You know, there are tons and tons and tons of different armor mods. So it's really kind of a lot. But the most important thing is you're going to want to look at that core effect, because that core effect is going to be really, really build defining for you. For example, here we have after killing an enemy, refill 2 bullets from your reserves, no more than 50% of the magazine capacity, weapon damage and status damage plus 10% until next reload. So again, if you're making a build that's maybe designed specifically to be taking down mobs, right, to be doing crowd control, this might be a really, really good option for you. So you're going to have to go through here, you're going to have to pick and choose, you're going to have to look into it and find those mods that you really, really want. Now the next 2 categories are sort of subcategories of these existing mods. And I put them in separate categories because they're really, really special and I want to identify them to people. So the first one that I want to talk about is Crisis Event mods. You can get weapon mods in the Crisis Event that give you attribute effects that affect a specific core weapon effect. For example, here you have unstable bomber damage plus 4.8% on an unstable bomber weapon mod. And that's always going to be the case, right? If you've got shrapnel mods, then you're going to get shrapnel bonuses. Hang on, I know I got a couple in here somewhere. Here we go. Shrapnel damage plus 2.4%, shrapnel crit damage plus 5%. So these specifically come from the Crisis Event like Chiron, and you can only get them there. And you only get, I think, one of these chests that you can pull these mods out of a day. So you have to make sure that every single day go do yourself a Chiron event. Actually, you want to go do yourself a high-risk Chiron event. Because they just came out today with the patch, the high-risk version of the Crisis events, which give a legendary chest instead of a purple chest, which give you better mods. I believe those chests actually guarantee purple as one of your attribute mods levels. So you're going to want to get those legendary chests to get those purple mods. See here, I got shrapnel damage plus 4.8% as a purple mod. That's one off of legendary. That's one off the highest it can possibly be on my shrapnel weapon mod, on my shrapnel attribute. So that's really, really good. So you're definitely going to want to be farming those specific mods because you can actually make them in mod conversion, right? If I go over here to shrapnel, and I look at the available suffixes, or sorry, I'll go over to Unstable Bomber, I can actually make Unstable Bomber mods by putting Unstable Bomber mods in there. So that's how you're going to get the really high levels of those. And we're going to talk more about how mod conversion works here in a little while. But just be aware that if you don't have any, then you can't make any. Because you have to have some to put into it to guarantee the mod that you want. So you're going to have to farm those. Very, very important. The next thing that's important to farm is actually a subset of armor mods, and you can have either resonance or battle. So I am on the server that has void and region, so I get these resonance mods, which are, for example, this effect right here that says deal 1 instance of weak spot damage, crit damage plus 0.8%. The effect stacks up to 10 times and lasts for 8 seconds. So you see that up there in the name, you have Unstoppable is the name of the mod, and then inside those carrots, you have Resonance. And there are actually 3 different types of Resonance mods. You can get Deal Weak Spot, gain crit damage. You can get Deal Elemental, gain weak spot. And you can do Deal Weak Spot, get Elemental. And those are the 3 types of Resonance that you can get. Oh, and hang on, there's a 4th. So there are 4. So deal Elemental, get crit. You can deal weak spot, get crit. You can deal Elemental, get weak spot. You can deal weak spot, get Elemental. and you can deal elemental and get crit. I haven't seen any other ones than that so far. I was kind of surprised that there wasn't any that said like deal crit, get elemental. It all seems to be based on dealing weak spot and elemental damage to boost the other types of damage. And so these mods specifically come from Prime Wars. And you'll actually see, let's go up to a Prime War here. There are 3 levels of chests. When you open a Pro Prime War chest that's purple, so for getting 1,000 points, you will guaranteed get a pair of pants that has a resonance mod that is guaranteed a purple stat. And if you open the legendary chest with a controller, you will guaranteed get a pair of gloves that has a resonance mod, and it's guaranteed to have a purple stat out of one of its 4 attribute effects. So very, very important. That's how you get those. But those I put in their own separate subcategories because they're really special and because they might not always be here. Right? This Chiron event and these event mods might go away in the next PvE mod, or in the next PvE campaign or PvP campaign. The Prime War mods might change into something else. And in fact, we're already seeing that because I am not able to get, but we already see the ability to have what's called battle mods. So again, you go over here to mod conversion and you look in chest armors. There's a suffix that I have not seen yet called battle mods. I believe that this is for the other, right, I'm on Void and Regen, so I get Resonance. I believe the battle mods are for the people who are doing the Coherence server, but I may be incorrect about that. I wasn't able to check. So these battle mods are already going to be, and these are going to be for chests and boots. Right, so we're already seeing we could have 4 special mods across our 6 pieces of armor. So far we have nothing for face masks and helmets. Right, these just get these normal 3. But in the future we might be. So stocking up on these types of mods now going to be kind of important because they may go away in the future. Instead of, the basic ones are probably just always going to be here. So next we want to talk about how to get mods, how to target farm mods. So very, very important to know is where you get mods. All of your weapon mods come from different bosses. So that's what we're going to look at first. So normally this is only important when you get to hard and pro mode. But we can take a look in here, and this is actually new also. You can go ahead and shift over to the pro mode of the monolith and scroll down, and you'll see the possible rewards before even going over there. So you can get the bullseye weapon mod, you can get the fast gunner weapon mod, and you can get the fortress warfare weapon mod from the pro version of the Mirage monolith, which when you look on here is the Araxium boss. If you go over to the Forsaken Giant, you can only go to pro mode here, you can get any weapon mod from the Forsaken Giant. So be careful farming the Forsaken Giant because you're not target farming when you do that. If you look at this one right here, this is the Ravenous Hunter, and you go over to its pro mode, you can see you can get Frost Vortex and Burn weapon mods. Come down here, you can see that you can get Unstable Bomber and Power Surge. And all the way over on pro mode, you'll see you'll get Unstable Bomber, Power Surge. These are going to have guaranteed purple mods, and you even see that. If you open this with a controller, you are guaranteed to include an epic rarity secondary stat. That's those attribute effects that we were talking about. So you're guaranteed for one of those 4 to have a purple mod. And that's very, very important. You always want to be farming on pro mode when you do this. And the same is going to be true of your armor mods. So the next thing that we're going to want to look at is actually your silos. So here you see Securement Silo Psi. If you go up to pro mode, you can see you're going to get pants mods. These are not going to come with resonance mods, but you can see again, you're going to guaranteed get an epic rarity secondary stat if you open with a controller. Now there are a lot more armor mods than there are weapon mods. Right? When you look at this mod conversion, this shows you there's only 4 types of burning weapon mods. There's only 4 types of power surge weapon mods. But when you look at armor mods, when I look at helmets, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types. Right? So you have 8 different things that you're pulling from on your pool here. So there's 8 different things that you have to know and you have to look for. So you're going to end up doing a lot of silo farming to try and get the mods that you want. And each silo is going to give you a different piece. So Sai did, I already forgot. So we can look, Sai did pants. But when you look over here at Theta, Theta gives you chest pieces. You can look over here, boom, you get chest pieces guaranteed in Epic if you use a controller on Pro mode. So this is what you're looking for. This is how you target farm. Now you can only get as specific as getting, your chest piece, or 2 or 3 different options at specific weapon mods, or whatever it is. And then you're just going to have to farm and farm and farm that and use your controllers. And that's why I say you really want to wait for Pro mode before you do any really hard target farming, because you want to get that guaranteed epic rarity, because that's going to, A, just make the mod better, but also it's going to tie into one of the next things we want to talk about, which is mod conversion. So this is one of the things that you can really hurt yourself on, is wasting your controllers on farming things that aren't guaranteeing you that epic attribute. And so one of the things I want to caution you against is Leah Research Labs. A lot of people go into Leah Research Labs, kill the first boss, pick up their mod, and then leave. But if you do that, you're not guaranteed your epic mod, your epic rarity attribute effect. So don't just kill the boss and leave. You get guaranteed purples on the second boss and on the 4th boss in Leah Labs. But only on the second and first boss. So you see, may drop armor mods after completing the Dr. Mannheim phase. Legendary rarity mods obtained with the controller are guaranteed to include epic rarity on Dr. Mannheim. And then when you defeat the Mother of Life, which is the final boss of Leah Research Lab, you get a weapon mod, and if you use a controller, you're guaranteed to get an epic rarity attribute effect. So very, very important that you're only using controllers on Dr. Mannheim, which is the second boss, and the Mother of Life, which is the 4th boss, if you're going to farm mods inside of Leah Lab. Waste your mods. That's what I did my first season. You see here, it tells you how many mods you have of the different types. I've only got 72 weapon mods and 235 armor mods, and I'm most of the way through season 2 right now. And that's because my first season, I farmed a lot of Leah Labs and ended up with a lot of really useless mods that I just broke down into weapon and armor parts so that I could upgrade mods, which turns out to have been okay for me. But it means I haven't really been able to use mod conversion, so I'm really underpowered on my builds because I don't have the mods to support making really good builds right now. So very important. And the last thing we want to talk about is mod conversion. So this is a new system that allows you to take a bunch of your mods that maybe rolled really bad attribute effect stats and mash them together to reroll for a new mod. And there are some really interesting things you can do with mod conversion to help you get exactly the mod you're looking for. So let's take a quick look here at what mod conversion can do. So you see in your weapons mods, these are the 4 core effects that are currently available for burning in the weapon mod subset. So I can go pick any one of these. Now these are currently not unlocked. And this is going to be something that you have to do every single season. You have to loot 3 of the Burning Wrath mods before you're able to actually create a Burning Wrath mod. And that is per season, not per character. So every season, if you want to use the mod conversion system, you have to go unlock these. So that's your first step, is unlock the mod by going and killing the boss or whatever you have to do to go achieve those mods, and that'll unlock them for you. So you go in here, and first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose the core effect you want. So let's say I want to make a Blaze Blessing. So when defeating an enemy affected by burn, recover 5% HP. So that's your first step. Step number 2 is to choose which suffix you want. So we already sort of talked about suffixes, right? Violent is crit, talents is elemental, and then burn is those special mods that you can only get from the crisis events. Now these will have a bunch of different things like the resonance mods. There's a few different options that this burn mod can have, and it's going to give you one of those at random, but you can select to use that. And so when you select which one you want, I would choose talents here. It's going to tell me that I need 4 mods that have the talent suffix that I'm going to feed into this mod to guarantee that I get the talent suffix on the mod that comes out. So then when I go in here and I select, it's only going to show me mods that I have that talents, so that I can pick 4 mods that have talents to go into it. So let's take our first 4, and you're going to see something really, really cool happen. So the last thing that you're looking for is you want to get the best chance you can to get high level or high tier attribute effects. So that's what this is talking about. These diamonds are just like these diamonds down here, and those diamonds are telling you what tier the attribute effects are. So currently we have a slight chance to obtain rare mods, we have a high chance to obtain common mods, but as we put really high level mods in there, you'll see now we have a chance to obtain a rare mod, and we're going to get at least 1 common mod, which means we have a chance to get 2 green mods. We put another one in there, now we're guaranteed a rare mod, and we are at most going to get 1 gray mod, right? So it'll be guaranteed a rare, we're only going to get 1 gray, and then we're guaranteed at least 2 more greens. We put another one in there, now we're guaranteed a rare and above, and we have a chance to obtain an epic. Right? We get another one, we're still guaranteed that rare and above, now we have a high chance to obtain an epic. And now we've also hit our 4 of 4, and we've guaranteed our talent suffix. So now we can click off of that. Whoops. Well, apparently we can't click off of that. Because you don't necessarily want to use only talents. Oh, okay, I see what it's saying. So it's making you put the 4 in here, and then if you click over here, got it. See, I just learned something. So you click these first 4, and it only shows you talents mods. When you click these 2 on the outside, it'll show you all of the rest of your mods. And so now you're going to choose 2 more mods to put in there. So let's do that. We get our 4 for talents. Then we come over here. We're going to want to choose the highest level mods that we have. See, this one's got a purple. So that means 3, right? Because it starts at gray, and then it went green, blue, purple. So that's +3, +2, +2. So that's +7. That one's +8. This one's only +5. This one's only +5. You can actually go down here and sort them from highest attribute level down. So now we've got, this is the 8 right here, and then we've got a 5. So you see when we put that up there, right, we're now guaranteed our epic mod. We're at most going to get 1 gray mod. And then when we put our last, one in there, I don't know why it wasn't letting me do this one. We put our last one up there, and now we're guaranteed an epic, and we're guaranteed a rare. So that means we're at least going to get a +5. Now, it's really, really hard to get anything better than that. But guaranteed +5 is really great, and it means that we have the chance to really get anything else, right? Those other 2 stats are totally random, so we could very well get another purple in there, or something like that, and get a really, really good mod. But we're guaranteeing that suffix, so we're guaranteed going to have plus elemental damage. We're guaranteed going to get the core effect that we're trying to get, and we're guaranteed going to get at least one purple and one blue mod. Now that purple and blue won't necessarily land on the talent suffix. It'll land randomly on one of the 4. But if it does land on the talent suffix, then we've hit ourselves the jackpot and we've gotten a really, really good mod out of that mod conversion system. And that works with all the armor mods, right? You've got access to all that stuff here. So you can just come through here and make any mod that you want and make it with any suffix that you want, including the resonance or battle suffixes if you have them. You'll see here that I can actually go ahead and make a resonance suffix. I have tons of those. I've done tons of Prime Wars because I think that these are really important to have and to stockpile. So I can go in here and make resonance mods. I can do any of that. All of that special stuff is available, just like the burn mods or the unstable bomber mods or whatever the bullseye mods for these from the Chiron event. I cannot stress enough how important it is to do that high-risk Chiron as often as you can. So the last thing is what mods to look out for. We've already sort of talked about this, but I want to reiterate. Number 1, keep these life force mods. Right? They're pretty rare to come by because you only loot them out of crates. You can't target farm those. You can also get them from places that say any armor mod. So like Leah Labs, Dr. Mannheim. You can get life force mods there. But this is a much more difficult mod to get because when you get this mod, it is pulling from the entire armor mod pool. So it's much more difficult to get these. You're not going to get a ton of them. Keep these. The next thing is anything with really high numbers, right? So here you've got 3, 4, 5. You've got a 5 here. You've got a 5 here. I would say anything above a 6. 6 pluses. So, you know, you're going to have a purple, a blue, and at least one green. Guaranteed keep those. Don't disassemble them. Even if they've got really bad attribute effects, you're going to want to feed those into your mod conversion so you can make new mods out of them. Now, if you have something that has really bad effects and is 5 or below, then I would go ahead and just trash it. Stick it in your disassembler. You're going to need a lot of these parts. So anything with +5 or below, if you're not going to be using it, throw it in the disassembler, get your mod parts. And for weapon mods, you're going to want to keep pretty much all of your Chiron mods, right? Because there's a ton of them. You can get, for any of the different weapon types, you can get them, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different core effects. So you're pulling from a pool of 9 different effects when you beat Chiron. If you're only getting that once a day, it's going to take a while to build up enough of those mods to actually do one of these conversions. So don't throw any of those away. Keep those because you're going to want to be feeding the bad ones into conversions to get more guaranteed mods of that type. Make sure you hang on to those. And I think that's the most important stuff to look out for. You know, this game is going to be a lot about keeping special stuff. Stuff that maybe you don't get all the time. Or maybe you're not going to continue to get, you know, like shiny deviations that you're maybe not going to continue to get through all of the different scenarios and seasons. So when you have those things available, that's what you farm really hard on. Don't worry about all this really standard basic stuff, right? This is a really standard basic mod. I'm always going to be able to get this. It's not really a big concern. I can always use mod conversion to get it. There's no real reason to be hanging on to this one or to be target farming this one. You want to be target farming things that maybe you're going to go away in the future because you never know when a weapon will come out where that specific mod that you have from 2 or 3 seasons ago might just be the piece that you need to make a really cool build. So that's what you want to farm. That's what you want to hang on to. So this has been the Everything Guide to Mods. It was really, really long. It was really, really long-winded. We're looking at about a 40-minute video here. But thank you all very much for stopping by. If you enjoyed the content at all, don't forget to like, subscribe, you know, put a comment down. What kind of mods are you looking for? What kind of builds are you doing? I definitely want to have those conversations because builds are a really big part of this game and a lot of fun. And I think that everybody should be participating. Let's not just watch build guides. Let's get out there and make some builds for ourselves because this game, it caters to the casual. So even casual players should be able to make builds that are good enough to complete the content in this game. And I really, really want to see that. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. I hope you got some value out of the video, and I will see you on live stream every day, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I usually stream for about 6 or 7 hours. So come stop by, chat up in the comments. Ask me some questions, anything like that. I'm always talking when I'm on stream, and I really love doing that. So thank you all very much, and have a great day.